Hey y'all, I'm Sean.
I'm Matthew, and we are Broken Dreams Reborn.
And today we're going to give you our review of the Twin Mills Camping Resort, which is part of the Thousand Trails.
And we're going to start with what type of hookups are available at their RV sites.
They have sites that have full hookups, which include sewer, water, and electric. They have sites that include 50 amp, maybe some only include 30. Not positive about that, but our site had 50. And then there were sites that did not have sewer. So when you schedule a visit with Twin Mills, I would call the office and be sure that you can get a site with full hookups if that's what you want.
And they're kind of mixed in. You can have a row of sites that have full hookups including sewer, and then literally 10 feet away you'll have sites that have just water and electric. And we saw quite a few people start off in that section, and then 20 minutes later they come back from the office and they're parking in our section with the full hookups. So be careful that you figure out which one you want. And here's a tip, a pro tip. If you make your reservation over the phone with Thousand Trails, that's not the best way to do it for this particular one. Go online and choose an elite campsite, and then get the number for this specific campground, and we'll give you the number down below in the description. Get that number and call them just a few minutes after you make your reservation and ask them what site, and they'll tell you. It'll automatically choose a site for you, and you can make sure double check again right now. Alright, the next thing is, what type of sites do they have, back in or pull through?
They had both. They had pull-through sites and back-end sites, and we got a pull-through site.
Yep.
So this is our campsite at Twin Mills. We have sewer. And we have electric right here. And we have water. Here's our patio mat with our 2 chairs. When you get a picnic table, we have our Blackstone here. You get a fire ring. And you get, the sites are dirt sites. You get lots of trees. You still have room in the back. We're in site 53. And this is a Saturday, y'all. It's like May 22nd. There's still a lot of sites. Like, look. There's like 1, 2, 3, at least 4 sites between us and the Jacob Pinnacle. And these are all full hookup sites. They're pull-through sites. And then all these sites over there to the other side of the road to the left, they're partial hookups. But there are just tons of sites open here at the Twin Mills. Before we leave the sites, also they have different sections. And the section that we wound up in was Campers Cove. But the first section we were in was Evergreen. It was the E section.
Right.
And if you have a long rig, we would not recommend that section. Plus, it seems to have more of the permanent residents in the E loop.
Well, and it depends on which side of the E loop. There's one side where, imagine you're taking a loop. All right. Here's a loop. And there are sites on this side, and there are sites on this side. So back to back in the loop, you drive around the perimeter. On one side of the perimeter, they have, when you would back in and swing your front of your truck around, they have it nice and mowed. There's no trees for several feet, and you can back in just fine. On the other side, as soon as you step off the road, it's nothing but trees and heavy brush, and it's not mowed and it's not bushwhacked, and you can't follow your trailer around to back in. And just because of the way the sites are, it can make some of them difficult. So again, make sure you call the local, not the Thousand Trails corporate, because they're not very helpful with this. Call the local people and ask them what site you're on, and that'll help you get started.
And also, if you pull into a site and you don't feel comfortable about it, then just let the office know. They had plenty of open sites and we were able to move. We also, on that first site we tried to get into, it just seemed like the neighbor didn't want you encroaching on their space. They were very guarded about it.
They had a whole bunch of their personal stuff, like literally right on the road at the corner of what would be their site. So, and there were nothing but bushes and trees as you walked across the road, so there was no room to swing the truck over. And it was just, I could have gotten it, but it was just so much of a hassle. And we called the office and they were so accommodating, and it was so easy to change spots. They're like, not a big deal, don't even worry about it. So we didn't have to talk them into it. These people are very nice and very helpful in the office. So on to number 3, which is there anything significant worth mentioning about the RV park's infrastructure or roads? I would say yes.
I'll let you talk about the roads since you had to drive them. Y'all, this sign says no RVs past this point. Do you see a conflict of interest with that sign? That's funny.
Glorified bicycle paths. We've all seen them in the RV parks, and we'll show you on the video. I mean, it gets the job done, and they're one way, so you don't have to worry about two-lane traffic. But I tell you what, it's not an excess abundant amount of space. I'll just put it that way. For the pull-throughs, it's just enough. You don't need any more room. And where the pull-throughs are, if you need to swing wide, there's plenty of space to do that. But like in the E-Loop, for example, some of their sites, if the road were twice as wide, it wouldn't matter what kind of trees they had on the opposite side of the road. You'd have plenty of space. Just another 4 feet would have been enough. But these are glorified bicycle paths that you drive an RV down. So not very well planned in that regard.
And I don't know if you mentioned it, but also we had a pull-through site, but everybody had to park like a T.
Oh yeah, the pull-through sites are long enough for our 36-footer, and we had a toy hauler next to us that was probably a good 40 feet at least, and there was room for it. But you got to tee off your vehicle in the front, your truck in the front, which you're still off the road as it is, you know, the bicycle path. But there's plenty of room. If you have a long rig, I'd ask them, but they should be able to accommodate you with any of their sites. You just have to be strategic as to how you park.
And the pull-through sites are mixed in with the back-end sites, so because the way the pull-through sites are, and you had to park at a T, we had this big Class A parked by us, and the day they had to leave, they asked Matthew to move his truck because it's, like he said, the roads are small and stuff, and we got video of all of that. So it seems like, and we saw another Class A come in, and they had to have someone else move their truck just so they could get in. So it's very tight quarters.
Don't ever be afraid to ask somebody politely if they'd go ahead and move their truck, because I'm sure they would always appreciate you looking out for their best interest just to make sure that you don't run into their vehicle. Trust me, most people would be thrilled to help you not have their vehicle run into.
Right.
So, moving on to the next thing, that would be amenities available. What kind of amenities did they have?
Well, one thing on the sites that we forgot to mention was that you get a fire ring and a picnic table.
Yeah.
So that's an amenity. They do sell firewood. I think it was like $4.50 for a bundle.
Yeah, a small bundle.
But it's a very I don't know how to say it. Foresty, so you could go around and pick up some limbs and stuff like that.
In fact, people did that. You'd see them with their fabric or canvas bags, and they'd go around and pick up the pine cones and the little branches and sticks. I mean, they're just little gophers picking up their sticks.
So as far as amenities, starting from the beginning, they have a store where you can buy stuff. Let's see, what else do they have? They have a putt-putt golf. They have a swimming pool.
And the putt-putt golf really isn't a bad one. It's
yeah, we played it once.
It's in pretty decent shape, and it's well laid out. It's not just one of those little throwaway things you put a couple putting greens on. It's actually pretty good.
It was $5 a person.
Mm-hmm. And they have the balls and the scorecards, the pencils, and the clubs.
We would recommend doing it on a weeknight because we had the whole thing to ourselves.
Yeah, it gets pretty crazy on the weekends.
It was very fun. I think I mentioned they have the pool. They have a laundry facility, which I only saw one. They might have another one. They have a map, which they might have more than one, but I think the laundry facility that we filmed had, was it 4 washers and 4 dryers?
I believe so, yeah.
And they have bathhouses. They have more than one of that, and they have double shower curtains. So instead of just one shower curtain flying in the wind, you got double protection. This is the ladies' shower house. You get 3 sinks. You have 2 bathroom stalls. No, 3 bathroom stalls. And 3 shower stalls. And the difference with these shower stalls is you have 2 shower curtains, so at least that's better than just 1 shower curtain, but I still would prefer a door. It doesn't look like the shower head is very desirable though. This is the second bathhouse. The men's door is on the front. The women's door is on the back side, so the women have to go walk into the woods if you want to take a shower. They have dumpsters in several locations.
Oh, yeah.
The one we used was like 5 dumpsters. They also have a dump station if you happen to get a site that's not full hookups. They have dump stations. They have a fishing pond. They have a lake. They have lake access with a beach. If you have a boat, I think you can put your boat in the water. And that was on our section. This place is so big, they have other campsites on the other side of the street, and they had a river back there, and it was called the Pigeon River.
The other side of the highway that runs through it. Yep. And they have a dump station on that side too.
So we got to walk over there. It's very big to walk around. Most people didn't like to walk. They like to drive their golf carts.
Oh my goodness.
It was like golf cart
heaven.
Yeah, it was so crazy. They just keep pulling out all over the place.
I don't really understand it either because it's not very hilly and it's very easy to walk. It's very inviting to walk around. It's not terribly spread out, even though it's pretty big. And we were almost always the only people walking. Everybody else was on their little golf carts driving around. I know some people might need them because of mobility issues, but you can't tell me that all of those people needed a golf cart. I think some of them are just a little lazy.
So for amenities for the children, they had at least 2 playgrounds on the side we were on, and I think they had another playground across the street.
Mm-hmm.
They also had a dog park if you have dogs. I only saw 1 dog park. They might have 2, but we just saw 1.
Yeah.
But it was a very nice place to walk around. We enjoyed walking around it.
Now, how close was it to Walmart, other shopping, restaurants? Is it in the middle of nowhere?
It's in the middle of nowhere, but Walmart was like, I think, 5 to 10 miles down the road, between 5 and 10. You actually have to go into Michigan. We were in Howe, Indiana, but the Walmart was in Michigan, Sturgis, Michigan.
Yep, right down the road.
And they do have some, restaurants. They had an Applebee's, a McDonald's. They do have a handful of restaurants, but it's not like a big selection, but there is some. Oh, and they have a Myers supermarket. It was the first time we ever came across one, and that was really nice. It's like
they had good produce.
It's like a Walmart too, because they have clothes and stuff in there. I've never heard of a Myers before, and we went in there and it was really neat.
Now, our favorite subject, how about the internet? How good was the internet? It was sporadic. That's the best thing we can say. It was maybe 3 or 4 download and 1 or 2 upload at best. Sometimes we couldn't get voice. Sometimes we couldn't get anything from the internet. Couldn't use our Roku. We didn't get that many TV channels with our WineGuard TV antenna. But it depended. But then if you went a few minutes down the road to Sturgis, then what?
The internet was great. I did a screenshot of it. I think the download was 77 something and the upload was 18. So we were there for 2 weeks. So we had to upload 2 videos while we were there, and we just went to Walmart, uploaded the video.
Yep, we have our truck is a hotspot. It's a Ford F-350, and we chose the option for Ford Pass, which is where you sign up with AT&T, which we use AT&T anyways, by the way. All this is AT&T.
Right.
We'd like to get a second carrier because you should always have a backup carrier for times like this, but we're not there yet. Budget's the way it is. We just didn't do it. So we sat in the Walmart parking lot with the truck going, and we didn't mind at all because it just uploaded to YouTube with no problems. It was wonderful. Can't do that at Twin Mills. Forget about it. You don't go there for the internet. And I think a lot of it has probably to do with the trees. If you sat in the middle of those farm fields that are next door, you'd probably be fine. There's just so much tree cover, it's just kind of hard. And the last thing we get to talk about for Twin Mills is pros and cons. You go first.
I'll start with the pros because Matthew likes to be all about the cons, y'all.
Yeah, Mr. Negative, I guess.
The pros is it is in the middle of a like farmland, but it's right down the road from Elkhart. It's right down the road from Napanee. So if you need, RV work done and you need someplace to stay in the meantime, it's close to Elkhart. It was like an hour's drive from South Bend, which I think is where the Notre Dame campus is located, and so we were able to tour that and experience that one day. So location isn't bad.
No, you get the feeling of being in the middle of nowhere, but then it's a few minutes from everything.
The pro was we got a pull-in site. That was nice,
yeah.
And it really wasn't crowded. I did a film of saying we found all the campsites. We found all of the campsites. And this is the rustic camping area. All empty right now. And it's May 19th. So it wasn't very crowded. I mean, the weekends got a little rowdy, but during the week, it's not very crowded.
No.
And the staff was very, very nice. So that was another pro.
Yeah, I have to say, the people in the office were very nice, very sweet, always helpful. At least at the time of this filming, they let us get packages and mail, no extra charge. Yes, it's a Thousand Trails Encore, but maybe because it's Encore, it's different. But they didn't charge us anything.
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, very, very nice. Any other pros?
No, that is a big pro. You can get Amazon and mail. We got our escapees delivered there and our Amazon. All they ask you to do is just put your name on it and their address, and you can get mail. Yeah.
One of the cons would be, and I have to preface this by saying, I know, if you have an RV park, it requires maintenance. It requires, especially if you're seasonal, they opened April 15th, I believe, this year in 2021. If you have an RV park, it requires seasonal stuff. When you open back up, there's a lot to do. Winter wreaks havoc over these places. I know, I get it. But from my point of view and her point of view, the biggest con to us, besides the internet, was that maintenance. We had all the pull-through sites. They were dirt, 98% dirt, and I don't mean like dirt and gravel, I mean just dirt. And that's fine, but they took their little lawn tractor. It was a little John Deere with a bucket on the front. And nice gentleman who was using it, but he was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They would pour some dirt, big mounds of dirt, and we should have video of this, and mulch. The campsite, the camp part of it where your table goes, they were mulching with wood mulch, and not the most attractive thing. And then the actual site you drive on, they were flattening with dirt. Still not level, but not county park unlevel. It wasn't like this. It was doable. You know, your auto level should do it, or a couple of leveling blocks if you have a travel trailer, whatever. But they did that Monday through Saturday. So I just felt like, and we just felt like, if you're going to do that, maybe you should schedule it so you do the heavy work like that. That's the most invasive for people who are spending their days there. Like us, we work online, and the kind of work we do requires us to listen to people talking. So we've got headphones on, and there's this loud tractor back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Do it before the season opens, please. Don't wait and do that. You know, you have to mow the lawn throughout the whole year. That's fine. You have to trim branches throughout the whole year. Fine, go ahead. But don't do your major reconstruction while people are there. And one thing that really aggravated me, but I played it cool, I didn't go out and say anything because I was watching and filming the whole time, and that was this guy in the lawn tractor with his bucket. He would get within inches of the back of our truck when he's jockeying the thing around.
RV.
What'd I say, truck? I meant the RV, yeah, because we have a big panoramic window in the back where we work. And he'd be going like this type of thing in order to turn around, and he would have the big mulch and dirt dumped just a few feet from our RV in our space. It wasn't cool, and I think a lot of people would have a problem with that, especially since they never told us, they never apologized, no disclaimers. You just found out when they dumped it in your front lawn. But you know what? We didn't say anything. We just minded our business. We did our work. They didn't touch us. They didn't move any of our stuff. Part of me was screaming, hey, go tell these people what for, but we just didn't do it. We let them do their thing. We tried to do our thing, and at the end of the day, we got our work done eventually, and it was free to us because of the camping pass that we have through Thousand Trails. So that's the con.
The only thing I would say about that would be like, well, they need a new maintenance. Okay, well then close off 5 sites at a time and don't rent those sites. They were like, there was a Class A on our campsite, and they dumped a pile between us and the Class A, and they were spreading stuff like on our campsite. It's like, that's our property that we rented for 2 weeks. Can you just do someone else's site till we leave?
It was highly unprofessional that they did that. But like I said, I wanted to say something about it, but since no damage was done, no harm was done, other than it was really noisy and hard to concentrate, we just decided it was easier not to say anything. Why put ourselves through the stress if they're not going to change their ways anyhow? So that really had a big effect on what we're about to do, which is our ratings. Any more cons before we get to that?
No.
Okay. Scale of 1 to 10. 1 is a mud hole, and 10 is, I know we've never been to Fort Wilderness, but everybody holds that up as being perfection. So whatever 10 is, what would you rate it?
A 5.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5. And that's because the people in the office were wonderful. They were so accommodating. The electrical power, there was no problems with that. The water was okay. The sewer, we didn't have any problems with that. Everything that we needed to use worked that they provided. It was just a horrible location for internet, and we already talked about the guy in the tractor who dumped stuff on your lawn and came inches from hitting your RV. So a 5 at best because of our experience. You may come at a different time and you may give it a 10. I don't know. But if you came when we did, 5.
Yeah, I think the main reason it's a 5 for me is we work and we need internet, so we probably will not come back because we just could not. The internet would just completely stop working sometimes. I'm trying to upload a file, and
Starlink wouldn't even help us if that were a thing right now because of all the tree covers. So really, you're kind of out of options. We love the idea of being in the middle of nowhere, but with the tree cover, it was just too digitally isolating.
So that is our review of the Twin Mills Camping Resort. If you have any questions or we didn't answer anything, then just leave us a comment and we will try to get that answered for you.
And if you have any constructive criticism for us and how we should do these reviews, please help us. We're just kind of flying by the seat of our pants. We're trying to look at how other people do them and see what y'all would like. Tell us in the comments below. What do you like about our reviews and what do you think needs to be improved, and help us shape these so they're doing some good for you.
And if you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button.
And it would really help us out a lot if you would hit that notification bell. That way YouTube might actually let you know when we put out videos, which is once a week. And outside of our regular videos, you want to hit that bell because we sometimes do irregular videos, interest videos throughout the week. And you never know when those are going to pop up. So you really want to hit that bell and hit the thumbs up if you had a good time watching this content.
And we enjoy all of our subscribers and commenters. Just please keep commenting and share our video. And we'll see you on the next one, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.